We're nearly there. So my name's Dale, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Reekoh. When we talk with enterprise customers and we talk to them about IoT and their understanding of what IoT means from the perspective of implementing projects and use cases within their organizations and companies, quite often they've bought into the hype, they've drank the Kool-Aid over the last few years, and their view of it is simply, well, there are things, and there's the internet, and then there's our business. And it's that simple, right? It all just kind of works out of the box. Anyone who's walked around the booths today will have heard many of the guys building things out there. It's a lot harder than that. In fact, when you look at IoT and the landscape and what we call the solution value chain that moves from device, protocols, networks, security models, middleware, applications, infrastructure, there's a lot of choice. There's a lot of components. There's a lot of pieces that are suitable in one area, but not necessarily suitable for all areas. This leads to, in the customer's mind, leads to a lot of decision paralysis, where we've heard customers actually say to us, we just have no idea. It's easier for us to do nothing than to make a decision and try and back a particular horse that we may or may not know is going to be here for very long or is going to change in 6 or 12 months' time. It often results in a lot of overspending. Companies spending on expensive platforms, on expensive end-to-end solutions that solve or service their use cases in one way, but isn't broad enough to really deliver value to the business over a long period of time. And then failed projects as well, which ultimately is no good for any of us. Integration is actually one of the great hurdles of IoT adoption within enterprise customers. And it's actually a competency that IoT solution teams within businesses and also solution vendors need to be skilled up on. Reekoh's integration platform, which is purpose-built for IoT, is that capability and is that competency that an organization can embed into their teams and into their technology stack to provide that future-proofing and that confidence that what they start on today can scale with them over a long period of time. Customers of ours like Water Group, who are in the water metering industry, City of Ipswich in Queensland as a large city council running one of the largest smart city implementation projects in the country. UTS here in Sydney doing urban environmental monitoring in open data platforms. And Access Tech, an agriculture sensor developer in Perth. All of these companies have different value propositions to be able to say to their customers, we help you integrate our things into the best of breed components for the rest of the solution. We've also been able to, over the last 2.5 years of our short existence, be able to sort of sign up partnerships and channel opportunities with some of the world's best known brands. And we've been global from day one. It was very important for us. We've incubated here in Australia, customers in the region, and we've been working with partners and other customers in trial and production in various countries around the world. So our integration model is built around plugins. It's a scalable framework for how we integrate with what's there today and what is there tomorrow. But our grand vision goes beyond integration. We want to be the platform for the business of things as industry moves to creating new business models around connected devices. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dale. All right, over to our judges.
All right, I'll start with the pricing question.
The pricing question? Yeah, so we have a two-axis pricing model of an annual subscription for the platform, which locks in the value for the customer and for us some upfront revenue, and is really there for us to continue to deliver and invest in the platform. And then a per-device connectivity model, which allows us to scale as the implementations the customers are using us for grow from what's typically small implementations to begin with into greater scale in years 2, 3, 4, and beyond.
So Dale, is it sort of fair to characterize this as sort of a sensor agnostic middleware?
That would be an excellent way of describing it, Bill.
And what do you have on the back end as far as being able to plug in a lot of sensors, read that, and then what do you have for the customer that you report? Do you have a dashboard that reports the
Yeah. So
Inputs or?
yeah. So it's a really it's a good question in terms of differentiating us between what was the count this morning? 450, 500 IoT platforms. Right? Everyone's got one. We started with integration as a way of moving data between disparate IoT components as well as enterprise business systems. When customers would say to us, how do I visualize it? How do I store it? Our initial answer was, well, we plug into the best of breed visualization tools out there. We plug into every database that you've possibly got in your organization. And that was great in terms of building the proper round integration, but we learnt that there were some components that were required for us to provide in the short term for customers. So visualization is one of those. We've just released a dashboard tool for rapid visualization, because those early stages with the customers, they want to see that very quickly. And that's modular. We've deployed that as an upsell opportunity within the platform. So we're the best way of describing us is as the plumbing, the IoT plumbing between all of the various components. So where our customers place that data within their organizations, we enable it to go into the right places, the right applications, whether that be a CRM, an ERP, an inventory management system, whatever it might be. And that's where the end user interacts with the data.
We saw in one of the keynotes this morning, whether you agree with it or not, that sort of 60% of this is repeatable, and then there's this really useful 20% customized specifically to the customer that delivers, say, 60% of their value. Now, how are you going to address that rather than being in the broader kind of piece where you're competing very heavily? How are you going to get customer specific?
Well, there is a component of repeatability and then customization. We've architected our product in terms of being able to deploy features like templates, and the whole plugin framework is adding to that repeatability. So things that you're going to connect to often, data formats that you're going to have to convert every single time you work with a particular device. We have that framework to bring that repeatability in. Every single customer that we sell the license to has also then turned around and said, can we work with you to do those customizations, that 20 to 30%? And really, our revenue is 70% recurring licensing and 30% services revenue at the moment. We see that probably staying about right. We're not in the business of delivering the full implementation, so we don't sell the hardware, we don't do the field, sort of fleet implementation and support, but we get the customer up and running quite quickly. Awesome.
All good.
Great. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.